And Diego, I want to learn, just get start. I usually, for all the inevitable podcasts, we always like to start with the childhood of the guest, or like how you grew up. So, I know you were born in Ouro Branco. How was that? I mean, for me, my reference of
Y-
Ouro, I have no reference of Ouro Branco actually, basically. So I don't know anything about it aside that it's from city in Minas Gerais.
Yeah, I grew up in Ouro Branco for most of my childhood. I actually was born in Ipatinga, but Ouro Branco was the where I lived for most of my infancy. In small town, 30,000 people. Um, I really liked there. I used to play on the streets a lot. I had a very happy childhood. Lots of friends fighting on the streets sometimes, doing some dumb stuff like uh, uh, off-road bikes. And in the small cities, you typically learn to drive very early. So it's a riskier childhood than the average big city, but I had a blast. I had a great infancy. Some of my childhood friends are still my childhood to this day, and I keep close with them. Um, I think always liking music a lot and guitars and rock and roll, playing in some bands, studying guitar. I really aspire to be a professional musician. Um, so I would play guitars like 10 hours a day at 13, 14. Um, I also uh, got a little bit of business acumen there. My dad was in real estate, and I used to work on collecting lease and rent fees. Back then, there was no digital payment system. I would get on my bike and go collecting rent from 10, 12 properties every month. Learned a lot on that, a lot of negotiation
That's great.
skills.
Was that the first
And
one? Because usually, I think for all of us as founders, we always have the first moment where you make money on your own, or you get in touch with business, and then you realize what are all the positive things that business can bring into your life in terms of freedom, independence, critical thinking, this adventure aspect of just going out and not really knowing what's going to happen. Was that the first time?
yeah, I would say that was my first more business like experience. I used to make a little money on the side by selling school uh, jobs and uh, school assignments to my peers. But this was pretty cool because back then I was 13, 14 years old. I was negotiating and sometimes even putting pressure to collect on people who are 50, 60 years old. And it's very funny, especially in the rental area. Some guys knew the day I would go and they wouldn't show up or tell me that they weren't there. But I was observing a long time before I entered the place, and I knew they were there. Some very interesting excuses you get from people for not doing what they're supposed to. It was a very, I would say, it's a formation experience for
That's great.
sure.
Living life as like an offline Zora or Stripe, just collecting your
Yeah, that's pretty
your
much it.
subscriptions. That's great.